Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Coach Wendy with another Tuesday night's Thoughts and Talk. And I am going to give you some time to come on in. Come on in. Okay. Yes, come on in. Just give a few minutes for anyone who wants to join us. Hop on in. Go over here and just. Okay, hi Roots, good night. Good night, thanks for joining, thanks for hopping on over onto my YouTube channel. And welcome, thanks, appreciate you for hopping on in. Just share the link and invite someone, okay? So if you're here for the first time, I'm Coach Wendy Hazel. I'm a life transformation coach. Hi, Karen. I'm a life transformation coach, and I coach and empower women of faith to overcome emotional abuse and the effects of emotional abuse so that they can make the best decisions for their lives, both personally and professionally. And so every Tuesday night, I'm here sharing thoughts and talking about thoughts that come to me, things that I'm learning, and questions that clients ask me, questions that persons looking for answers to. Okay, so welcome, hop on in. If you're here and you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe, also click the notification bell so you get a notice whenever I go live or I post something, right? I really, really appreciate that. And tonight's topic is on emotional abuse, but the big question that persons have asked me over and over: why do they do it? Why does a person emotionally abuse another person? Why do they do it? It's so difficult to understand that someone will do certain things and say certain things. And so tonight I try to answer that question and just share some insight, okay, into that question. If you're watching on the replay, I want to invite you to put #replay in the comments so that I know you were here, so I get a chance to appreciate you and respond to you and say hi. You know, I like it to be interactive. I don't want to be talking and then nobody's listening, hearing, or I'm not talking things that you want to hear, okay? And during this time, just feel free to just drop your comments. I really appreciate that. You can drop your comments. Let me know where you're joining from, where you're looking from, your city, state, if you feel comfortable doing that. And ask any questions as I go along, okay? I spend about 30 minutes, but I am hoping that this will be a little shorter tonight and give you a chance to say some things. Okay, so why do they do it? Why does somebody emotionally abuse another person? And when I talk about emotional abuse, I have a simple thing I like to say is that you check on how this person makes you feel. How does this person make you feel? Do they make you feel good about yourself, good or bad? And if it's bad, not good, and it's done repeatedly over and over, that's emotional abuse. They're hurting your feelings, right? By things that they say, things they do. things they don't say, things they don't do, right? If you're dealing with a narcissistic individual, someone who has strong narcissistic qualities and behaviors about them, if you're dealing with a narcissistic individual, you will find that emotional abuse is the name of the game, okay? It's the name of the game. There are different types of abuse. You have physical abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse. But with a narcissistic person, you will find that you have verbal, but at the end of it, even all the other forms of abuse create and cause emotional abuse. If you're sexually abused, then emotionally you're hurt, okay? If you're physically abused, you're hurt emotionally. If you're financially abused, where monies are controlled and you don't really have the access to money, and what you do with your money is all, control, and you're made to feel like a child, right? You made to feel like a child. That is emotional abuse as well. That your emotions are hurt, okay? If there's spiritual abuse is when someone uses the Bible or their spiritual authority, their leadership in a spiritual realm, in church or whatever, and they use that to control you, that spiritual abuse, it makes you feel bad. So you end up with emotional abuse as well. So all the other forms lead to and cause emotional abuse. And so you'll find me talking a lot about emotional abuse and ways of overcoming it. We cannot overcome it if we don't first acknowledge it and understand it and see it for what it is and keep it real, okay? So the question is, why do they do it? Why does this person do it? Why do these people do it? And one of the things you find, it's all about winning. A narcissistic person, emotionally abusive person wants to win. They want to win in the relationship, okay? They want to win in the relationship. They want to win because of position. They want a better position. They want to know they have power over you. They want to know they have control over you. They want to know that they are not losing in any way. And a simple way that you will find it happening is with food. With food. If you're around one of the ways, right? You're around somebody who is narcissistic, you find that they cannot handle getting less food than anybody else. They're not happy if somebody else gets a bigger plate than theirs. They're sometimes not happy if somebody else gets before them. They feel entitled to getting first and getting the most, right? Getting first and getting the most. If it's a situation where it looks bad, then you find that they may pull back and say, oh, okay, and kind of pretend as if, okay, help the others. But deep down inside, if they don't get more than everybody else, they're not happy. They're not happy. And so that's a way of controlling, manipulating situations so that they are, they come out winning, okay? Deep down on the inside, a person who emotionally abuses somebody else is insecure and feels inadequate. It may not show to you if you don't know them really well, but deep on the inside, they just feel inadequate. They don't feel good enough. They feel insecure. Quite a lot of times, if it's in a relationship, they know sometimes that they don't deserve this other person. They feel inadequate. They feel less than because this other person seems more secure, more confident, And so because of that insecurity on the inside, because of that feeling of inadequacy, because they don't feel good enough, they will use power and control to put the other person down and make that other person kind of level up, not feel good about themselves. Especially if the other person clearly has maybe more education or maybe more money or more something, right? They will try to find a way to put that person down. And it all goes back to their own personal inadequacy and insecurity that's happening on the inside of them. Okay, so there are different ways it will show up. You'll see it, them blaming the other person, they blame others for their actions. They do something, they treat, and then they blame somebody else for it. They try to justify their actions when they realize they're wrong. They try to say, oh, things like, you're the one who pressed my buttons, you pushed me to the limit. Or they'll say, I know I overreacted, I overreacted, but you're the one who caused me to do that. If you didn't do that, I wouldn't do this. Justify and excuse away, right? All because of their insecurity and the fear. They have a lot of fear of the insecurity being open and others seeing it for what it is. Because you find that person who is emotionally abusive or narcissistic, that they try to hide the real person. They try to hide who they really are, okay? Another thing about them is that they always believe that they are the victims. That's how they feel on the inside. They're a victim. Whatever you say, whatever you do, if it come across like a bit of criticism, they feel they're a victim, and so will try to now victimize you for doing that to them, for making them have those feelings. They try to victimize you and justify doing that. Okay, that's something else they do. You'll find that because of the fear, because of the insecurity, because of the inadequacy happening inside of them, you'll find a lot of anxiety. So, for example, you may see this person trying to yell at you. You didn't do anything wrong, but they're yelling, and their reaction to simple things come over with all that anxiety. It's fear. Fear will cause them to yell and panic and rush and fear. And so deep on the inside, that's why they're doing it. They're just scared. They're just scared. They're just afraid. They don't know what's going to happen. And they will think worst case scenarios of things that may never even happen, right? And that's why they do things that are emotionally abusive. No excuse for it at all, right? No justification. As a result of them doing that, now the other person, people around end up walking on eggshells. It affects you and end up walking on eggshells, tiptoeing around them, trying to keep the peace around them, and that makes them feel good, makes them feel that they're in control. Sad, but true. And so the question is, what's in for them? Now, before I share, I want to share that some, emotional abuse is not just yelling. You get yelling, criticizing, condemning, demeaning, name calling. That's emotional abuse. But you also have the silent type that may not do those things, but they will be disengaged, distracted, preoccupied, not just ignoring you, silent treatment, things like that they do to you. That too is emotional abuse because it hurts. You want to have relationship or talk with the person, right? If that person is that important to you. Or you ask them anything and they say, oh, you just do what you want. It's up to you. You do it. You take dismissive. And then you don't feel good because you're looking for somebody for a partnership or relationship to talk and discuss something with. And that's what they will do. And they know that it gets to you. Or what's called stonewalling, refusing to accept anybody else's opinion. They're not accepting your suggestion. You don't have a say in the matter. You don't have a say. So you would want to suggest something for improvement or how we can do things. No, they don't listen to anybody else. That's emotional abuse as well. But the silent type is not the open type, okay? And in that, they're saying they're in control. I'm in charge. This is my place. You can't tell me anything about my place or my whatever, they're doing, right? That is emotional abuse, right? But what it does, it just makes the other person feel not seen, not heard, like I don't matter. What I have to say doesn't matter, And if it's a marriage or a relationship where you have children, you end up feeling like a single parent because you're not getting the input and the collaboration and the relationship that you really want, that you deserve, right? And that you deserve. And so they get pleasure. They feel good when they're powerful, when they're in control. They feel good that they're getting attention because when they're carrying on, the attention is on them. They can get sympathy. They will pretend to be the martyr, that I have to do everything here. Because one thing, that happens is that as a result of the emotional abuse, that person on the receiving end ends up getting confused and not functioning to the best of their ability. And you can make mistakes or you get forgetful. And so when that happens to you, then that abuser gets the upper hand. And they may say, see, you can't handle this, let me handle this. And so they're doing everything. They take over and then plays the martyr game that I have to be doing everything because she can also forget. She doesn't know how to do it. She makes mistakes. You see that? Just a strategy in a game. And I want to say, just, there's evil spirits behind that. That is not healthy. Okay, that's not healthy. You'll see it in relationships when somebody do that with finances in a relationship, where they use those strategies to make the other person, and sometimes, it could be both men and women, but women are on receiving end more, make that other person feel now that they're not good enough to handle finances and stuff. So the abuser gets a chance to take over the finances, be in control of that money. And if we're to be honest with ourselves, when you're on the receiving end, it does not feel good. It doesn't feel good, but you go along with it because you have to live with it. And that's what the situation is. Sometimes with the silent ones is revenge. They know they're getting back at you. When they go silent, they stonewall you. They're not responding. They're not participating. And so the question that I would get, what do I do? How do I handle this? And I have one suggestion. And this is a strategy that I teach to my clients. I teach it in the, I have this group that's called Enlighten to Emerge. And in the enlightenment, teaching that strategy, which is to shift your focus. Shift your focus, because you find when you're dealing with these people that you find yourself focused on the present and the past, your thoughts. Focus on the present and the past. So you're looking at 3 realms. You have the realm of the past. Memories keep coming back every time something happened in the present. And then you have the realm of the present of what's the reality, what's really happening now. But then there's another realm, which is the realm of possibilities. You're not there yet, but that's where you really, when you check it out, that's where you want to go. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be thinking. That's where your prayers are going to be directed. That's where God is waiting for you to take you towards your destiny that he's created for you in the realm of possibilities. So when we're dealing with this, in spite of whatever excuse they give for emotional abuse, we need to shift our focus from the realm of the past and the present into the realm of the possibilities. Okay? I trust that this has been helpful for someone. Drop me a comment, drop me your message, questions, and let me know how this lands for you. What's your takeaway? What thoughts came to you as you listened to this? Okay, if you don't have thoughts, I will end the stream now, but you can always come back and drop comments and share this if you think this is going to help someone. Okay, so thank you, thank you, thank you, and good night. You have a great rest of the night. Bye.